Sitting right here beside me is the brand new compact pressure washer from Adams Polishes. And in today's video, we're gonna be breaking this thing down, testing the actual usable PSI and GPM of the unit, kind of talking about some of the specs and build quality of the thing, as well as pricing and the upgrade kits that they have available for it. As I was saying, as it sits, this thing retails for a fluctuating price. $199 on Amazon, $189 on Adams' personal website, and then $179 potentially on Amazon. There's a 10% coupon that you can clip, so it brings it down to about $179. So depending on where you're at, those are your options. I'll link them all down in the description for you. Additionally, guys, you can go for the upgraded kit. Now on Adams' website, that is $299. And again, that includes a 40-foot braided hose, which is fantastic, really nice. Stainless steel quick connects. One side actually has a swivel on it. I just got to get this collar back. One side has a swivel, really nice hose. I'm actually going to be doing a comparison video between this thing, one of the MTM ones, and then also the Uberflex hose, because this one at 40 feet at 60 bucks with quick connects is actually a really, really good value. Now, along with that, you do get the adapter and the quick connect here, and then you also get a stubby nosed pressure washer wand. This is the one that I got in the box, which I like. I've had this one in the past. I like this. They show a different one in the picture. I don't know which one it comes with, but no worries, it's a good little stubby nose. So $299.99 on Adams' website, or $326.59 on Amazon, but again, with the 10% clipping, it brings it down to $293 or so. Now guys, we're gonna go ahead and jump into the unboxing, but before we do that, I wanna let you know I'm going to be giving this unit here away. Not the upgrade kit, because I'm gonna be using this hose for more tests down the road. But this unit, as it sits with all the regular connections, the 40-foot hose that it comes with. But all you have to do to win is make sure to just go over to my Instagram page, follow me on Instagram. It's just at IMJOSHV on Instagram. Comment there on the picture of this thing, as well as commenting on this video here. And I'll gather both of those together and then select a winner. So if you don't have an Instagram, it's okay. You could still win this just by commenting on YouTube. But if you comment on Instagram, it should increase your chances. You can do 1 and 1 and increase your chances that way. So first things first, guys, let's go ahead and jump into unboxing this thing and seeing exactly what it comes with. All right, guys, so here it is, the Adams Polishes Compact Pressure Washer. As you can see, it's a very interesting design, and I like that a lot. Now, if you're sort of an aficionado of pressure washers, this thing may look a little bit familiar to you, and there was a unit that is not in production anymore, but I don't think, but it was from Stanley. It's pretty much exactly the same design. I don't know if it's the exact same unit or not. The casing definitely seems to be, but the internals, I do not know. So obviously we have the hose. Now this is one of the main key points that I'm talking about when I mean that this thing is more built for the detailer in mind. It comes with a 40-foot hose. So that's awesome. No need to really, I mean, you can upgrade it if you want a better hose, but as far as distance goes, this is gonna get the job done just fine. We have a baggie of goodies here. We have a little garden hose connection point. We have a adapter for the pressure washer nozzle. We'll talk about that in a second when we see the wand when we pull that out. And then we also have some tips. So let's go ahead and see 0 degree SFMO 0.9. So I don't know. I don't know what size these are exactly. They all say 0.9. So that's not the usual listing that I'm used to, but they do give you a 0 degree, a 15, a 25, and a 40. Moving on, let's go ahead and keep unboxing this thing. Let's go ahead and let's see here. What's this? Looks like a handle. Looks like we are gonna have to assemble some stuff. We have a part of the pressure washer wand, the lance piece, and another piece here. So we do have this type of connection, guys, the basic tabs where you just push it in, seat it down, and then twist it, locks it into place. Not my favorite, to be perfectly honest with you, not my favorite, but I've recently had some experience with these, and they are a lot more robust than I had originally thought. Still, I would prefer a more robust connection point. However, if you get the upgrade kit, then this is not an issue at all. But this, you can just pop this in. I don't know if you have to actually compress it. Let's see here, push the button in, line up, you have to line up the tab. Right there and right there. Okay, and then push it. There we go, and it's locked in. So we're good to go there. And then we have our standard quick connect points. Now the pressure washer wand itself does have a locking mechanism on it, so that's unlocked. And then you push the other one, locks it up. The casing of this thing isn't great in my opinion. It's definitely, let's see here. I don't know what that's for. Just kind of cranks along so you can actually change the angle, I guess, if you need to whatever fits for you. That feels actually really nice and precise. The connection point is in front of the trigger, which again is not my favorite, but with the upgrade kit, it doesn't matter if you just upgrade your hose and gun, or even just, well, we'll have to look at that. And then you do have this little piece here. It's just, you know, push that back, it sets it in there, and then you're good to go. All right, so here is the unit, and as you can see, it has this little side storage here, assuming that's just for your power cord. It does come with a 35-foot power cord with a GFCI outlet on it, so you don't have to worry about water. It looks like there's storage for your gun. Yeah, it pops into place nicely. I mean, that's the cool thing about this. Everything is super compact and everything does fit together really, really nicely. You can see this unit is very, very small. This, I don't know, you can probably just slide your hose in there to keep that tucked away. You have the Adams compact pressure washer logo there. And then you have a toggle switch on this side for on and off. You have your garden hose connection. That's obviously where this will go. This actually seats down on that. Now this is plastic, guys. See here, and that's not my favorite either, but I come across that pretty often. And when they give you this kind of connection point, I'm not concerned with this at all. Just make sure you don't cross thread this when you put it on, and you'll be good to go, because now you do this once, and then you're never gonna have to deal with it again, right? You're just gonna be dealing with this side, and this side's nice and good to go. So I don't have any problem with that specifically because they have this connection. Just tighten that down really well. Now I'm not using any Teflon tape or anything. I'm just gonna check and see if that is okay, or if we do need to have that stuff to prevent leaking, but for now we're just gonna run it that way. And then last but not least, guys, you have the handle here. And it looks to me like it just slides into place. I guess, I don't know. How the heck does this work? Okay, there's that. This one goes there. Push it forward. Okay, good. There you go. And now that's in place. And then it should have some screws. It looks like you could screw this down if you wanted to right there. I'm not going to, but that's how you do it. Now, a couple of other points I want to cover, guys. Again, this type of wand, definitely not my favorite at all. Again, the tabs actually don't bother me as much anymore, but still, it just doesn't seem as good to me. And then this, definitely, it's just that little prongs in there. You push that down, it opens up, you can slide it in there and it holds it. It doesn't leak, all that's fine. It's just not the most quality component in the world. But again, I haven't had any issue with it leaking, so I don't know. It's definitely not my favorite, but I don't have a real good reason other than it just feels cheap to me. As you can see, the unit is extremely thin, but as far as the toppling, like, it feels nice and sturdy. And then water inlet is on one side and water outlet is directly on the other side. That I actually love. That's always my preferred method for these units. Now, if you're trying to wall mount this or something, that's gonna be an issue, obviously. You would have to wall mount it like facing forward like that, which isn't ideal. But let's go ahead and start testing this thing. Okay, now the first test is always the hose. Again, I really like the fact that they give you a 40-foot hose, but let's go ahead and see the quality of this thing. It doesn't feel, let's see here. Flexibility's okay. Yeah, definitely, it's not kinking the way a lot of others do, so definitely better there. Let's see here. All right, it's rolling over on itself. It's not as good as an Uberflex hose for sure, but it doesn't seem to keep that memory of that kink like others do. Maybe a little bit, but definitely not as bad as like the ones that come with the Ryobis or anything like that. This is actually an okay hose. And again, at 40 feet, it's pretty cool. Now, it is a bit of a tangled mess right now, but that's just what it is. Let's go ahead and connect the component here to the machine. Again, super, super easy. Just literally push this down, push it in. Now, as you guys can see, if you've seen my other review videos of pressure washers, I typically put my gauge right here with quick connects. There are 3/8 quick connect. Now, this one, I cannot do that because it has this type of connection. However, I have a workaround, so stay tuned for that. I'm gonna go grab it real quick, and then I'll be back. So there you go. We are installed. Everything's good to go there. I'll be right back. Okay guys, I'm back, and to show you, here is my normal pressure washer gauge, right? This is how I test it. You run it through there, tells us what PSI we're getting. I can't run it this way, so I would need to do it at the very, very tip of the nozzle. And in order to do that, I actually put this together. I've got a reducer here, both sides. So what we're gonna do, this is now a 1/4 inch. This is what will fit into the nozzle. So let me go ahead and just do that. Okay, so now we have that. converted to a 3/8, I will plug my pressure washer gauge into it, okay? And then we have to reduce it back down so that the tips work again. So we have a 3/8 to a 1/4 inch, right, like, just like that. And then we can put our nozzle and test the unit. Now this unit is listed at 1500 PSI, 1.2 GPM. It actually shows on Adam's website that at 1.2 GPM, it actually runs at 1350 PSI. But we're gonna be testing all that and seeing the numbers that we actually get. So I got my water hose here. I'm just gonna go ahead and plug this in. We'll fire it on and start testing both the PSI and the GPM. Now, as we're testing, I'm also gonna plug it into this so we can actually test the amperage and wattage that the unit's using. My plug is right behind that cabinet, so you're just gonna have to take my word for it, but I'll report back to what it's pulling. Okay, so let's go ahead and turn this thing on. I'm gonna let the water purge out for a while so we get accurate readings, we get all the air out of the line. Here we go. Unit sounds pretty good. It's not a super high pitch and it didn't have the squeal at the end, which a lot of units have. Let me go ahead and purge the air and then we'll be back. All right, guys, so we're gonna go ahead and start testing the PSI. The 0 degree, yeah, let's test the 0 degree too. I'm not gonna test the GPM on the 0 degree, but we can look at the PSI on it. So let me just go ahead and... All right, guys, so just so you know, I have a little bit of leakage here. Shouldn't be a big deal, not the end of the world. But I'm getting 1350 with this nozzle. So I'm assuming that all of these are gonna be the same size orifice with it throughout the nozzle range. Just go ahead and check the 15 degree now. All right, so as you can see, that's the 15 degree nozzle. Let me go ahead and pull. And it gets to 1300 really quickly and then creeps up to 1350 over time. And that's one of those things that's pretty normal, guys, with these units. It takes a little bit of time for them to break in a little bit. So that's to be expected. Now, if you see this little contraption here, I just have my phone, that's how I'm recording this other part. Anyways, let's go ahead and move on to the 25 degree. So the 25 degree here, let's look at the numbers. As you see, it's still creeping up. We're at like 13, well, here we go, getting to, there you go, 1350. Just about. Like I said, it's creeping up slowly. And then last but not least, we'll check the 40 degree nozzle and see where that lays. $1,300 and then slowly creeping up over a bit of time. So pretty accurate to 1300 right now, to be perfectly honest, but it does creep up slowly over time. 1350 I'm sure is accurate. Because they're all the same, we don't have to do a bunch of different GPM tests. We can just take this and go straight into testing the GPM. We're gonna know it's gonna be the same across the board. Let me grab another nozzle though, a slightly larger one, and try and see where those lay. Okay, so here is a 2.5 orifice nozzle. Again, I don't know what came with the unit, so that's why we're testing these to see where it sits. Yeah, okay, so even just going to the 2.5, it drops us down to about 1,000 PSI, slightly above it, about 1,000. Let me go ahead and show you. And that's where I'm gonna personally want it for detailing cars. So we'll check the PSI or the GPM on both the nozzle that it came with and also the 2.5. All right, now the last thing to do is test the GPM. Same way we always do it. We're gonna run it into a bucket, measure out the water. After 1 minute, that'll tell us our gallons per minute rating. So here's the bucket, and we're gonna go ahead and start off with the factory nozzle. Again, we're using the 40 degree just because it's easier for me in the bucket. It disperses out, so it's not so much force into the bucket, but they were all the same orifice size. We got the same PSI across the board, so no problems there. Let me go ahead and get my stopwatch ready. Alrighty, so stopwatch is ready, and here we go. All right, so there you go. That is the first one with the factory nozzle. All right, guys, and as you can see, we're about a little above 4 3/4 quarts, just a slight bit above that. Now 5 quarts would be 1.25, so we're probably sitting about 1.9-ish GPM. So pretty accurate. All right, guys, now we're gonna go ahead and run the exact same test, but with the 2.5 orifice nozzle. So here we go. All right, so there you go. Let's go ahead and pull this out now. Again, this one was operating at about 1,000 PSI versus the 1,300 of real world daily use right now until it breaks in more. Let's go ahead and measure this out. And we increased at least, yeah, a decent amount, at least another half quart. Well, almost, I guess. We're almost to 5 and a, let's see here, not quite a quarter. Let me do that calculation. We're going to go with a rough estimate here. It's not a substantial amount of water, guys, so a rough estimate will do just fine. Okay, so I actually just listed that at 5.15 quarts. It's not quite 5 and a quarter, so in between there, we're going to say 5.15, and that would get us to 1.288 gallons per minute. So 1,000 PSI, 1.288. So we'll say once it breaks in, it'll probably be 1,000 PSI, 1.3 gallons per minute. So there you have it, guys. There's the full review of this thing. What's my opinion? At $199, I think you can get a Ryobi 1800 that's currently on sale for 99 bucks, and you're gonna get the better performance, slightly better performance. However, like I said, this thing sounds good. The motor sounds good. I tested the decibel reading, it was about 85, but it had a good note to it, and it didn't have any squeaking afterwards. A lot of times you get that kind of loud squeak as the pressure builds and then releases. This didn't have that. It sounds really, really good. However, with all that said, my personal recommendation would be to go with a Ryobi or something like that. Cheaper, and then you can upgrade to like this hose or the Uberflex hose or whatever else and still be in it for less money. Do I think it's a bad unit? No, not at all. Do I think that they're accurate in their ratings and assumptions? Yes, I do. Again, I was getting 1,300 PSI at 1.18 GPM or something like that. I can't remember off the top of my head. As the pumps break in, as these things break in, right now the tolerances are really tight. As they break in, they'll start to move a little more efficiently, and then I'm sure it'll get to those numbers, no problem. So if you have one of these things, good for you. I really like the fact that it comes with a 40-foot hose already. I appreciate Adams doing that and kind of thinking ahead that way, thinking, oh, this is for the detailer, someone that's going to be washing their cars. 20-foot hose doesn't cut it. Let's give them a 40-foot hose. So that's great. Again, the connections aren't my favorite, but they do get the job done, to be perfectly honest. So overall, decent little unit for sure. So with that said, guys, thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like the video. Make sure you're subscribed, especially because I'm going to be doing a review on this thing here shortly. And don't miss out on that one. I think it's going to be a good, really good option for you guys. So that's it. Thanks so much. Make sure to subscribe, and we will see you on the next one.